They're nothing but crocks. Old Crabby, you see, was a bit of a witch. In the pit of her heart was a serious glitch. She didn't have time for the fanciful things like pirates and gadgets and creatures and kings. She believed that a girl should be perfectly prim and shouldn't be guided by whimsy and whim. As such, she was certain Katrina was nuts, too lively, too feisty, and too full of guts. Yet the two were related. Yes, that much was true, but how they were linked, well, nobody knew. The relation was distant, hard to define, yet connected somehow by a family line. Like 41st cousins 10 times removed, the bloodline, however, had never been proved. And so, once again, they had come to collide, with each of them taking their opposite side. As they stood near the tracks where under the ground Katrina thought beasties were creeping around. "But Crabby," she cried, "it really is true. It looked like a thing that escaped from a zoo. But I'm not a dullard, and I'm not a dunce, so you got to believe me, if only this once." Mrs. Crabone said nothing at first. Her face went all flushed, as if ready to burst. Then her lips twisted up into sort of a grin, and she wrangled Katrina by ear and by chin. Leaning in close, so Katrina could hear, she whispered maliciously into her ear. "You listen to me. This lying must end. When we get home, here is what I intend. I will call up my friend, a lobotomy doc, a talented man at the butchery block. His scalpels are polished to shimmering shine. He'll slice from your eye to the top of your spine. He'll cut from your brow to the top of your head. Your brain, he'll replace it with something instead. Something quite nice, like a pastry or cake, or why not a succulent caribou steak? Your original brain he will lock in a box, for that's what they do, those lobotomy docs." Before the poor girl could swallow her fear, Mrs. Crabone gave a tug on her ear. So writhing and wriggling and wincing in pain, Katrina was bullied inside of the train. The subway struck up with its clackety-clacks, rolling into the tunnel and over the tracks. Katrina sat quietly watching the wall. It was smeared with graffiti and scandalous scrawl. She was searching the dark for the thing she had seen. What was it, she thought? What could it have been? At first, there was nothing that seemed out of place, but everything changed when she made out a face. It was surely a face she would never forget. It peered from the dark in an odd silhouette. It wasn't a hog or a bear or a cat, though perhaps if all three were stirred in a vat, muddled and mixed into something anew, a wildebeest, polar bear, antelope stew. There were horns on its head, all twisty and curled. They shot from its noggin, they spiralled and swirled. Its shoulders, however, were stocky and stout, and a thicket of whiskers hung down from its snout. But perhaps the most shocking, incredible sight she saw when the creature leaned into the light. Not a soul would believe that it wasn't a lie, but this creature, this thing, it was wearing a tie. The train sped ahead and the shadows were back. The creature was lost in the Stygian black. It was gone in an instant, gone in a blink, but not before giving Katrina a wink. She turned to her guardian, there at her side. She was certain the truth could not be denied. "You see now," she said, "you can't disagree. You looked out the very same window as me. A creature, a thing, it was just like I said. Perhaps there are more of them, farther ahead." But Mrs. Crabone was severely irate. She spat when she spoke with fury and hate. "A creature!" she shrieked. "A mysterious beast! You're crazy, Katrina, and that's saying the least. You listen to me, you insufferable brat. What you saw, it was probably only a rat. So I've had quite enough. You tell me no more. Your lies and your tales and your fibs I abhor. If you tell me again, I shall do it myself. I'll scoop out your brain for a spot on my shelf." "But didn't you see it? His horns and his beard? And he winked, I believe, which was awfully weird." Mrs. Crabone made a shriek like a bell. "Now you listen up, Miss Katrina Katrell. I'm the boss around here. I'm your guy."